Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And for the month of December, we're going to be talking about technology. That's a popular topic for a lot of people because technology is always changing. And nowadays, of course, the big thing that's happening with technology is AI. You hear people talking about AI all the time, especially when we're using a program called ChatGPT. That's helping a lot of people write college papers and things like that. But there are certain ways you need to use that program to get the best benefits from it.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day. Technology used to mean when there was an improvement in a piece of engineering, like, a new type of airplane or a new type of car. And now technology only seems to refer to digital technology, which isn't the case. I mean, we've got other things out there to talk about with technology, but Tom's right. These days, it seems like everything is coming down to digital technology and our ability to use AI to improve our world or not to improve our world. We'll see what happens. But we're going to talk about ways to really use ChatGPT to the fullest and to get your value from it. I was going to say get your money's worth, but you don't really have to pay for at least the very simple version of ChatGPT. You just sign up for it, which I did. I haven't played with it very much because I'm busy with other work, but it's something we should all be looking into.
Yeah, we should not be afraid of it. It's going to be with us for a long time. And of course, lots of people are afraid that AI is going to take over all our jobs. But if you know how to use AI, maybe you can still be safe and not worry about becoming unemployed. But today we're going to talk about 3 ways to maximize your AI output, especially if you're using ChatGPT and you want it to do something for you. You need to basically tell it what to do, and we're going to be talking about ways to tell that program what they can do, and then they can help you out the best they can. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's listen to the entire contents of our article right now, and we'll be right back. Humans have entered the era of generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI, thanks to tools like ChatGPT. Chances are you've already explored its capabilities and limitations. The golden rule with Gen AI is the better the prompt, that is, the question or command you give it, the better the output. Here are 3 ways of writing better prompts. Give it a shot. In Gen AI's rapidly evolving terminology, a shot is the number of examples included in a prompt. 0-shot prompts provide no examples, while 1-shot prompts only give a single example. Few-shot prompts give the AI more to work with and get the best results. Example: give me 10 idioms related to sports, such as playing hardball, knock something out of the park, or score an own goal. Context is king. It's critical to give Gen AI adequate context. This can involve giving it a scenario, a description of the target audience it's writing for, and even a persona to assume. This input will help it generate the content you're looking for. In addition, you can also tell it how you want your output to appear. Example: you're a native of Taipei, and you're about to give a walking tour to a group of international tourists. Suggest 5 destinations that are within walking distance of one another and provide a 100-word introduction to each one that will give 1 or 2 fascinating facts. Reverse engineering. This is a clever way to make the AI do the heavy lifting for you. Give the AI some content that you really like and ask it to generate a prompt that would result in similar output. This will provide you with a prompt you can utilize to imitate the content's style. Example: analyze this content and generate a prompt that will help you create content in the same style. Add content. Gen AI can make mistakes, though, so you'll need to check its output thoroughly. Also, while it's a great tool, it's no substitute for understanding the subject matter and writing it in your own words. So use AI wisely, and happy prompting!
Okay, let's dig in, guys. 3 ways to maximize your AI output. Your output is what you get back after inputting or investing something into whatever we're doing. You can input your time and money into a new company. Your output is how successful that company would become or be for you. Hopefully, if you you invest in something, the output is very satisfactory to you. So these are 3 ways to maximize your AI output. To maximize something is to make the most out of something. If you've got some talents that you were born with, to maximize your talents you were born with, maybe you need to take some lessons and practice at what you're doing. Maybe you're an athlete and you were born with a lot of good eye-to-hand coordination. You're just very coordinated. You have a good body. You're strong. If you want to maximize those talents, you need to practice every day. Build your muscles and practice those skills. Get a good coach. Maybe join a team. That's a way to maximize something.
Right, to get the most out of it, to make it most useful. And again, we're talking about the output from your AI, basically the result that you want. For example, maybe your boss wants you to write a report about your company's business activities in Southeast Asia or something like that. And so you want to have a really good report. That would be the output. Well, humans have entered the era of generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI for short, thanks to tools like ChatGPT. So this is a general term for what's going on now. Generative artificial intelligence, or Gen AI for short. Generative means it just creates something, and then they're using AI to do this.
So we're going to look at how this is changing and how you can best use ChatGPT. Chances are, or there's a good chance, because usually we're talking to the younger generation, although I know some adults listen to us as well. So chances are there's a good chance that you've already explored its capabilities, what ChatGPT can do. I had seen some posts on social media, and I was just curious, and I thought, hey, I want to see what it can do. I have a nephew who has, he actually founded an app company that is doing quite well, and he now uses ChatGPT to help program some computer coding. So it can be used for a lot of different things at this point. So there are some capabilities that you'll discover, but you'll also discover that ChatGPT has some limitations. Limitations are things that you can't quite do so well. Maybe you have some limitations in terms of your body. Maybe your leg doesn't work quite as well. That's a limitation. Or maybe you have limitations of time. You know, a lot of us would like to stay home and just play on the internet all day long, but we have a limitation of time. We have other things we have to accomplish and do. So there are limitations or things that they can't quite do so well that you have to take into consideration. We talk about ChatGPT like it's all these, robots inside, but we actually refer to ChatGPT as it.
As it, indeed. That's a new term, so we're going to have to get used to that. And the golden rule with Gen AI, the thing you need to remember the most, is the better the prompt, that is the question or command you give it, the better the output. So there's our pattern there. The better something is, then the better you have something else.
Or the worse, the worse.
Exactly, right. The more you try, the better you will perform, etc., etc. And in this particular case, we're talking about something called a prompt, okay, which is kind of like a command. It's a question that you give this program in order to get results. And I guess you really need to know how to give it a prompt. If your prompt is too vague and not specific enough, you can't really expect good results.
Give it a shot is the title of the next section. It just means, it's an idiom. It means, hey, give it a try. You should try this. So if you have a friend who's never tried maybe a sport, I've never actually played ice hockey. So if you have a friend that says, hey, give it a shot, give it a try. I think it originally may have come from basketball. You shoot that basket up into the air, or you shoot the ball up into the air to see if you can make a basket. So give it a shot. If you never shoot the ball, you'll never make the basket. So here, just give it a shot means give it a try. You won't know if you like something, or you won't know if you like the taste of something if you don't give it a shot or give it a try. What does it say here to us?
It says, in Gen AI's rapidly evolving terminology, a shot is the number of examples included in a prompt. So we told you what a shot is. That's when you try to put the basket or the ball in a basket or try to put the puck in the net if you're playing hockey. But in this particular case, the word shot refers to the number of examples in your prompt, okay? So zero-shot prompts provide no examples, which probably doesn't give you very good results, while one-shot prompts only give a single example, which may get you some kind of result, but it's probably not going to be exactly what you're looking for. I guess you have to give it more examples or more shots.
Notice here, this is new English for us, really, the way to talk about ChatGPT. We've talked about limitations. We've talked about a shot. I mean, these are things that we usually don't say. Zero shot? Yeah, unless you're talking about AI, you've never seen this before. There are other AI programs you can use besides ChatGPT, just FYI, so you'll know. But you might have to pay more money. But check into that too. So zero-shot prompts provide no examples. If you give it one shot, you might get a single example back. And few-shot prompts, you're not giving it a lot of examples. That gives the AI program you're working with more to work with, and you get better or the best results possible. So remember, you want to put as many examples into your prompt as possible to get back a really good output.
Right, so you need to be specific with those prompts. I remember when I first tried ChatGPT, I just asked it, tell me about a murder case in my hometown. Well, that was too vague, and it gave this article back that was well written, but it didn't really give me the information I wanted, so I had to give it specific examples. Oh, it was the murder of so-and-so, and this person committed the murder, and it happened in this month. Give me an article about that, and then it gave me something more specific. So again, you have to give it more prompts to get the best results. Now, here's an example, besides the example I just gave. Give me 10 idioms related to sports, such as playing hardball, knock something out of the park, or score an own goal. So these are some idioms or terms we hear in sports. To play hardball, as an idiom, it means you're not flexible at all. People are asking you to be flexible, but you will not change your opinion. You will not change your procedure. You're being very stubborn, very firm. And so you're playing hardball. I'm not quite sure what that means in actually playing sports, to play hardball. Is there a sport called hardball? I'm not quite sure.
It might be the difference between playing softball, which if you get hit by the softball, it's not so bad as if getting hit by a hardball, which means it knocks you out of the game entirely, really, sometimes. Knock something out of the park just means that you do so great. It's a home run. Actually, you could use that phrase. Oh, you just hit a home run. To knock something out of the park, that's what it refers back to, is baseball. You hit it out of the park, it's a home run. Now, Tom, you need to explain score and own goal. This is not my sport.
This happens in soccer usually if somebody makes a mistake and they actually kick the ball into their own goal, or it bounces off one of their own players and goes into the goal. That's to score an own goal. That means you kind of defeat your purpose. You tried to accomplish something, but you actually caused more damage as a result. So these are some examples of some sports terms that you might use, and these are examples that you may give the program to give you 10 idioms in total. And of course, as you know, there are many more. Okay, we're at the midway point in our article for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天科技单元要带大家来看一下 AI。 哇， AI 真的是红很久了耶，不晓得大家有没有去玩过，比如说 ChatGPT 啦，或者是其他的一些 AI 程式。不过我们在用 ChatGPT 的时候，有时候会很困扰，想要找什么东西啊，都不是我们要的答案，到底该怎么办呢？今天我们就要来谈谈3个方式，让你对 AI 的使用能够更精准，让 AI 呢对你服服帖帖的。其实关键都在于如何下指令。好，所以在第一段当中就出现了指令这个字。指令这个字呢，在英文当中啊，其实它是一个新的单字，因为 AI 这个东西以前也没有嘛。这个指令呢出现在第一段第3句的地方 prompt P-R-O-M-P-T prompt。你说这 prompt 本来不是 促使某人做某事，或者是立即的意思吗？对，它其实有借这个意思过来的意思。好，所以其实它是一个新的字啦，是因应 AI 而产生的。当然我们现在已经进入了一个所谓人工智慧的这个时代，我们一定要先看懂这个关键哦。回过头看同样第一段第一句的地方，所谓的那个人工智慧 AI， 有没有看到 Artificial Intelligence， 一定要知道这个字就叫做所谓的人工智慧。那很可能的情况就是我们大家都已经去用过，但是我们也知道好像有时候不好用。那在第一段第二句前面两个字的 chances are， 这边特别可以把它框起来或者是画起来，因为其实它是一个句型，就是我们要推论，我们就很可能怎样怎样，很可能你已经如何如何，很可能他如何如何，这时候就可以用 chances are 再加上一个完整的子句。好，当然我们说只要你的提示，也只要你的这个 prompt 指令下得越好，它能够产生出来的东西就会越好。最重要的关键还是在第一段第三句，这边有一个特别的句型，就是 the 加形容词逗点 the 加形容词逗点比较级的句型，通常指的是两种情况成正比或者是反比，而且句型就是 the 加比较级 the 加比较级。好，比如说在这里，如果你的提示写得越好，输出的结果就会越好。我们看到的是 the better the prompt， 甚至连把后面的动词都省略，逗点 the better the output， 那输出的情况就会越好。像类似我们平常常用的就是大家开 party 人越多越好， the more 逗点 the merrier M-E-R-R-I-E-R， 就是这个常用的句型。好，那接着我们就要看一下到底我的指令要怎么下呢？第一种 give it a shot， 原本 give it a shot 是试试看的意思，可是在指令当中这个 shot 却是 example， 是所谓的例子。那这个例子要用什么样的例子呢？基本上如果你不给例子， AI 不知道你到底要做什么。那你也可以给一个例子或给多一点的例子，只要给例子呢，它就会产生的结果是比较你想要的。好，我们在 give it a shot 这里注意到第二段的地方，第二段一开始说一个 zero shot prompts， zero shot 指的是零例子，假设没有给例子的指令 provide no examples， 逗点之后的 while， 在这里的 while 就不是表示时间哦，而是表示对比对照。然而呢 one shot prompts 一个例子的指令Only give a single example， 也就是说这句话要告诉你这个所谓的 shot 就是例子，那你最好是给几个例子就可以比较能够获得更好的结果。所以下面就给一个例子例如说你可以说给我10个跟运动相关的成语，比如说playing hardball， knock something out of the park， score an own goal， 踢乌龙球等等，只要给例子就会得到比较好的结果哦。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about 3 ways to maximize your AI output. And we're really taking a closer look at what ChatGPT brings to the table, what it offers to us in our daily lives.I know some people are trying to use it as a way to get around work. They want ChatGPT to write their research paper or to write their legal brief if you're an attorney or a lawyer. But be warned, be aware that we can now tell if you've used ChatGPT as a way to escape doing the hard work yourself. You can use it as a reference and to help you, but don't cheat.And use it that way. First of all, you won't learn anything. And secondly, your teacher or maybe your boss, if that's the case, or the court, if you're an attorney, will discover that this was not written. And ChatGPT also makes mistakes, but we'll get to that. Let's move on here to the second part. It says context is king. Context just means the situation you're actually talking about.Someone can use a vocabulary word with me, perhaps, and I'll say, but what's the context? Because some words have different definitions, right? And you need to know how they're using it. What's the entire phrase or sentence so I can tell you if you're using it correctly. So context is king means context is really important.
Right. You need to establish the environment or basically exactly what you're talking about. And it's critical, it's very important to give Gen AI adequate context. Adequate just means sufficient. You're giving it enough context. You're giving it enough information so that the result is not incorrect. It's closer to being completely accurate. And this can involve giving it a scenario or a scenario. I've heard it pronounced both ways, which means a certain kind of scene, a situation. And this is a description of the target audience. You also want that. Who is this for? You want this article to address maybe high school students, or you want it to address a potential employer if you're going in for a job interview or something like that. So you need to tell it it's your target audience. And you also have to give it a persona to assume. Okay, the persona is basically the type of person that's narrating this article. Is it going to be like an article written by a college professor? Is it to your mother talking to you? Is it a conversation between brothers and sisters or whatever? Yeah, you need to give it a context. Who's talking in this article?
I wanted to give an example of adequate. So adequate just means satisfactory, acceptable. You could be talking about quality or the quantity of something. Maybe you are given a brand new office by your boss, and your boss goes, "How is this?" Well, you could say, "Oh, it's adequate." But be careful because in English, sometimes adequate just means it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. But you need to make sure that you know adequate is satisfactory, but you're not saying wonderful or terrific. So if you really like something, don't say it's adequate because native listeners will hear that and go, oh, they think it's just mama hoo-hoo kind of thing, right? So be careful with that. But you do have to give ChatGPT enough context, that's for sure.
All right, okay. And again, you need to give it the target audience and the persona. And this input will help it generate the content you're looking for. So this is input, which refers to the information that you're giving the program. All this information is the input. The information you enter into the computer, for example, is the input. And to generate here just means to create something. So the more you input into the computer program, the more it will generate the content you're looking for. It will be closer to what you actually want to say, and you probably won't have to do too much editing or proofreading afterwards, although you still should.
Oh, yeah. So generate is closely related to that word generator. If you lose your electricity and you have a power generator that's run on gas, then you can use it if your power goes down, if your electricity goes down. Or maybe you have a solar power generator. So if you're generating something, you're producing it. You're making it, you're creating it. So it will help you, but you have to give it what it needs. Here's an example of context being important here. You're a native of Taipei and you're about to give a walking tour. You're a tour guide to a group of international tourists. So you tell ChatGPT, hey, can you suggest 5 destinations that are within walking distance of one another and provide a 100-word introduction to each one that will give 1 or 2 interesting or fascinating facts. This is a way to give a good prompt with context.
Right. There are some places that are within walking distance here in Taipei. I suppose if you go to Taipei 101, it's pretty close to Guofujinianguan or places in that area. They're all within walking distance.
Elephant Mountain, is that close enough?
All right, that's very close there as well. That's kind of within walking distance. So yes, this is the example here. Yes, you're from Taipei. You're going to give a walking tour to some international tourists. And so you need some destinations that are within walking distance. And you also need to provide a 100-word introduction to each particular site. Now let's move on to the next point here. It says reverse engineering. Okay, this is a clever way to make the AI do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, reverse engineering reminds me of a phenomenon called reverse psychology. When you want somebody to do something and you tell them you want that done, they won't do it. So you try to say, well, then don't do that. and then they will do it. That's kind of like reverse engineering or reverse psychology, rather. But reverse engineering is kind of similar, right?
Yeah, so you do the opposite. You let the AI do all the hard work for you. If you engineer something, you construct it. So what does this mean? Well, you give the AI some content that you really like, you think it's great already, and you ask the AI to generate or create a prompt or the command that would result in a similar output. Maybe your competitor has a really great marketing ad. They've got this ad that's really good. You think is terrific. Use that, input that, and say, I want something similar to this. So give me the prompt that would be able to help me get this sort of return. You want something that will imitate the content style. So find something you like already, you input that, and then AI will reverse engineer it for you or construct something and give you the prompt that you need to get the result or output that you need.
Exactly, and this will provide you with the prompt you can utilize or use to imitate the content's style. Here, to imitate means to copy. It's not going to be 100% exactly the same, but it's going to be very similar. And of course, you don't want to copy someone's work.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, that would be plagiarism, I guess. That would get you in trouble, so be careful there. And so that's one technique you can use to get better results using AI or generative AI. Now, example here, analyze this content and generate a prompt that will help you create content in the same style. So I'm going to give you some content here. Here's an article I really liked. So analyze it. That means kind of look it over and look for details and try to find some specific information and make some conclusions. And then give me a prompt that would help me create something that is similar to that.
So Gen AI, as we said earlier, can make mistakes, though. So you'll definitely need to check the output it gives you. That's very important. Also, while it's a great tool, and it is, think of it as a tool, not the thing that does the whole job for you. It's no substitute for understanding the subject matter and writing something in your own words. A substitute is something that replaces something else. Maybe you've been a substitute teacher before, or you've had a substitute teacher before. Maybe your teacher gets sick and a substitute teacher comes in and takes his or her place and teaches you something. So you need to do the work yourself. It's really important. You want to help this educate you further, not make you dumber.
Exactly. And it's kind of interesting here that the article for today was actually written by a human being. It's not an AI-generated article, although I would say the author perhaps used AI to help him through the process. And of course, we probably all want to do the same thing. Let's use AI together. Let's use it to help us and not fight against us. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
接着第二个方法就是这个 context。Context is king， 可是这里的 context 其实指的是上下文情境的意思。好，到底要给什么东西呢？比如说，我们要提供 Gen AI 很足够的背景资讯，比如说你要找什么答案，或者是你希望它产生出什么，那尽量给它多一些 background information， 是这个意思。那在这一段的第二句的地方，逗点前面有一个 scenario。Scenario 这个情境啊，有时候我们会在对话的情境或者是某一个戏剧的情境用到这个字，其实也可以给 AI 一个 scenario。那这个 scenario 呢，在句子当中这一段第二句逗点之后，它有特别说明 a description of the target audience it's writing for even a persona to assume。那 target audience 指的是目标的听众，也就是说到底是写给谁的。甚至是你可以去先假定他要扮演什么样的一种人物，例如几岁啊，个性怎么样啊，性别啊，嗜好啊等等的，这叫做 persona。那当然，如果你把背景讲得很清楚的话呢，它就可以产生出你想要搜寻的一些内容。不过我们在这里特别看到第三句哦，第三句这边有一个关带省略的关系子句，请注意这边的 the content 这些内容。后面的 you 到句尾左右括号，关带是 which 或者是 that， 因为在关系子句当中，作为介系词 for 的受词，所以它可以被省略。同样在第三个方面，在第三个这个下对指令的方法，所谓的 reverse engineering 逆向工程，我们也看到同样类似的这个句型。比如说在下面的逆向工程当中，我们看到的是这一段的第三句的地方，第三句有一个 a prompt， 后面的 that 到句尾我们也左右括号，我们会发现它的关代 which 跟 that 也都省略了，因为在这里关代是设为 utilize 利用的受词。那当然最后一个方法所谓逆向工程就很巧妙，你可以先把你喜欢的内容贴在上面，要求它生成一个 prompt， 然后根据这种模式就可以希望 AI 呢换一个主题，就可以产生你要的精准的提示。那当然 Gen AI 对我们来说很重要咯，所以我们要多练习，多利用 AI 来减少自己的工作。以上是我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That is all for today. We hope you can use AI to your best advantage and it can help you out as best it can. Happy prompting, everybody, and also be sure to check out our content on YouTube and Facebook. You might learn a little more. From all of us here at English Digest, my name is Tom.
And I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.